good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're catching us from. My name is Andrew. I'm the communications intern at African Liberty. So glad to actually be part of this very important conversation with experts in the field of cryptocurrency and also technology. So today's discussion is very important. We'll be looking at a very critical topic, and I would love you to actually feel free, our attendees, to interact with us as we get to discuss the matter of cryptocurrency in Africa, entrepreneurs, and the startup ecosystem. And with me is a very important guest from Kenya, and Yvonne, we are honored to actually have you, in this session. I would love to read through your bio. So Yvonne is a financial economist and software developer with a Bachelor of Business Science in Financial Economics from Strathmore University and a software development certificate from Moringa School. She has extensive experience in Kenya's financial sector and blockchain ecosystem. Her career began in the Kenyan Commercial Bank Group as an intern before joining Google Digital Skills for Africa in quality assurance. She has a rich bio, and we're so glad to actually have you, Yvonne, to discuss this very important topic. Everyone is talking about cryptocurrency, and now that the world is digital, and so we cannot really rely on traditional systems, but then get to involve ourselves in systems like cryptocurrency. Yvonne, thanks for joining us, and we're glad to actually have you. Yeah, we can't hear you.
Sorry, I got lost in my desktop, but I'm happy to be here as well. Yeah, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, so today's webinar, for our attendees, we are going to explore cryptocurrency, how it empowers African entrepreneurs by providing access to financial systems, reducing barriers like higher transactional costs, as well as fostering innovation. And so, Yvonne, cryptocurrency is what every African or young African is actually talking about today. And I know a few months ago, there was a cryptocurrency conference in Kenya, and people from across the world came together to just discuss about this important topic. And I think that's why as African Liberty, we have also decided to bring this topic, and just discuss and see how we can move on with it. Now, I want to understand, how does cryptocurrency improve the financial access for African entrepreneurs? Yvonne.
Okay, thank you for that question. So there are different types of cryptocurrencies. Maybe I could just ask in the comments section what level of knowledge might you guys have of cryptocurrency, so that I know my audience and who I'm interacting with. Please, if you could just post, are you a completely newbie in cryptocurrency? Are you a trader in cryptocurrency? How deep are you in the world of cryptocurrency, that I know if I need to give an intro to what they are? But just let me know in the chat section. But basically, cryptocurrencies are, how do I put it? They are, I'm sure you've heard of Bitcoin. The money of the internet. In summary, it's just how you decide to assign value. Esther is a newbie. Oh, newbie. Okay. So for the sake of Esther, because no one else is responding to me, for the sake of Esther, I'll just give a brief intro to what cryptocurrencies are. Cryptocurrencies are a sort of, in summary, a line of code that us as a community in the internet have decided to assign value to it. For example, when we look at paper money is basically a piece of paper that we've decided to assign value to it. It doesn't really, if you go to, say, another planet and you give them this piece of paper and you tell them this is worth something and it's just a sheet of paper, they probably think there's something wrong with you, probably aliens or something. But cryptocurrencies are a line of code. We've decided in the digital era, we're calling it the fifth industrial revolution, and we decide that now we're not going to give paper value, but we're going to give code value. We're going to give money of the internet value. So that's what basically cryptocurrencies are. But the difference between oh, Kevin, for the of trading. Wow. I hope you've not lost any money, and I hope you bought Trump Trump coin. Anyway, so what I'd say about them is that they're very unifying. One thing about cryptocurrencies is that they put all of us in a uniform playground. For example, if you go to the US, yeah, they're very close to the dollar. So you find that the people who are closest to the dollar is the ones who benefit the most. Like, you know, they're always printing money. So the people who are there, they get the most money. You find there, like here in Kenya, you can easily get a 1-bedroom apartment for, say, $70 a month. But there, the apartments are very crazy. So there's really high, things that are very expensive. But then cryptocurrencies, especially the first one, which was Bitcoin, is available to everyone in the world. And it can be divided into the smallest unit, which is 0.00. You can literally have a Bitcoin for 0.00 up to 6 values one, which is in Kenyan money, it's like 0.001 cents, no? Shillings, yeah, for the Kenyans in the room. So you can divide it's accessible to anyone who has access to internet and a device, which is a mobile phone and internet connection. So it's really helps unifying the playing ground. That means that anyone can access cryptocurrencies. So what does it mean for and I find that you had to know someone who knows someone who knows someone somewhere in the US or Europe or somewhere. But with cryptocurrencies, you can do a simple coin launching. We call them initial coin offering, similar to IPOs. And you can anyone in the world can buy your token. Meaning, if you have a project, I'm seeing some South Africans in the room. I've seen Nigerians. I know Nigerians are our big brothers with entrepreneurship. Sierra Leone, I've seen quite a number. Mali. You find that whether you are here or anywhere else, anyone can buy your token. Anyone can send you money. Additionally, since I work for ICP Hub Kenya, we are run by a foundation called Aeternity Foundation. And we invest in the foundation invests in some local projects in Kenya. And how do they get their funding? Through our token, our native token. They no longer have to go through rough paperwork that eventually locks them out, or bank systems that can make them lose their money, or a heavy taxation system, because now it goes through so many steps. Now all those intermediaries have been cut off, and it's peer-to-peer. Anyone can send to you. It's like M-Pesa, or Momo for those who use MTN. You can access it as fast as possible anywhere in the world. I know some of you are wondering, what's the difference between M-Pesa and cryptocurrencies? Well, M-Pesa is very limited to our region and it's very centralized. It's controlled by Safaricom or MTN for those who use MTN. But cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin, it's not controlled by anyone. It's not controlled by any central authority. It's what we call decentralized. So many people have the power, many people have the control. So that means you can send to anyone without restriction. It doesn't care the color of your skin, or your region, your level of education, and all that. Oh, sorry, I've gone on and on.
I'm going to cut you short. I'm going to cut you short. Sorry. Okay, many people want to involve themselves in business. They want to start, being entrepreneurs. We have so many startups in Africa, and others actually fear to say they do not have capital, and even if they enter into business, there are so many transactional costs. But we want to understand, how then does cryptocurrency lower transactional costs, especially for startups? I mean, this might be a motivational factor for anyone that wants to do business.
Okay, so as I mentioned, it's a unifier. So the transaction cost, the whole process of, if you get someone to, for example, if you build on a blockchain, for example, ICP, or any other blockchain, that blockchain technology is basically the technology that cryptocurrencies run on. So we have several blockchains. We have Ethereum blockchain. We have even the Bitcoin blockchain. As we have a blockchain called Internet Computer Protocol. So you'd find that people are very interested in growing their blockchains and having projects on their blockchain. For example, for our blockchain, you can literally build anything on it, from whole application to a website. So you'd find there are some investors who are specifically focused on ICP blockchain or Ethereum blockchain, and there are communities that are willing to fund such blockchains. So you'd find that you have easier access to communities that fund projects. And two, it's faster to receive money. You don't have to wait multiple months to receive money, or days, or going through the lengthy bank process or to receive your money. It's literally immediate. The amount of time it takes me, Yvonne, to send to, let me see, someone in the chat say, if I want to send to Joseph Ochieng some Bitcoins or some cryptos, it will take literally the same time I sent you and sending to another person, say in the US or in Switzerland, exactly the same amount of time. Additionally, it's very important as Africans to jump on emerging technologies. Right now, everyone is talking about AI, Web3. We shouldn't be left behind. There are many people who are keen on getting on the next investment. So even when you, as entrepreneurs, if you're looking to build something, make sure you incorporate the latest technology. That way, you'll be able to catch the investors that are very interested in the technologies.
Yeah, interesting. So thank you so much. For those that are joining us, welcome to the African Liberty monthly webinar. We're in the month of January, and this is our very first webinar for the year 2025. And we've started on a very special note talking about cryptocurrency. And we have with us Yvonne to help us discuss this important topic. Now, Yvonne, cryptocurrency is all about innovation, and it has come with technology. Now, how do you think cryptocurrency gets to drive, innovation, especially among, the startups in Africa? And I think we want to understand, we always talk about cryptocurrency, but then how does this really drive to innovation, to be innovative?
I'll go back to the aspects of communities, yeah. So blockchain technology and everything that is involved in the cryptocurrency industry, if you decide to hop in, I've seen some people here are intermediate, some people for the trading. Please let me know in the comment section how far are you. But if you've been in the cryptocurrency industry, you know that a lot of the projects thrive on communities. For example, you see something like Dogecoin. Dogecoin is heavily promoted by Elon Musk, and it's a very useless coin. It's a meme coin. So, but you find that it's very powerful because it has a strong community behind it. So why does this drive innovation? Now, these communities are online based. They're based in platforms like Discord, Telegram, and as mentioned before, as long as you have a device and a stable internet connection, even if you have unstable the internet might not be stable, you have access to these communities. And what drives innovation? Usually exposure, I believe. Exposure to maybe interacting with people from another region, and you see this is a problem that can be fixed in my region, or maybe traveling. So a lot of items in our industry, you find that there's a strong push for people to innovate, to create products that people can consume. And Africa is a heavily consumer region of cryptocurrencies. We're actually the second largest consumers of products of blockchain. I don't know if you know that in Africa, we're the second largest. Yeah, so it's quite you find that there's a drive for Africans, especially by people like me, myself, that we stop being consumers of products. Let's start building. So as ICP Kenya, we have an initiative where we've been doing campus tours. We've been evangelizing blockchain, educating developers on how to build blockchain products and incubating products that are launched on our blockchain. Not just us, we have other blockchains are doing the same, like Ethereum blockchain, Bitcoin. Tando was supposed to be here, but I think it's one of the products that are on the Bitcoin blockchain. So there's really a push, and there's a more drive to become that global village that we really aspire to be. And it's blockchain plays a really huge role, and the communities that are in the that are built from the technology play a huge role to drive innovation. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing in those thoughts together. For those again that are joining us, please, if you have any questions, you can type them in the chat, and then we'll be able to read them in the chat. I mean, or if you like, you can type them in the Q&A. It'll be easy for us to actually know that that is a question, rather in the comment section. But then, if you want to raise your hand and maybe you want to speak, please, again, feel free. We will allow you to speak. I'm from Zambia, and cryptocurrency has not really been implemented or practiced, I would say, due to misconceptions like, well, it's a scam. People are actually afraid, and that has also contributed to a lot of regulations from the government in implementing or practicing cryptocurrency. What is your say about that, Yvonne?
Well, innovation always comes before, ideally, innovation comes before regulation. So it's unfortunate that cryptocurrencies are really, I understand where they're coming from when they say scam, because a lot of bad players have come in and used cryptocurrencies because of its immense benefits, though, to scam people, which is really unfortunate. However, that being said, we can't be left behind, if you look at the impact that cryptocurrencies are having in Africa specifically, and if Zambia is being left behind, it's really unfortunate, because the leading countries in crypto in Africa are Nigeria leading literally 50% of, or 70% maybe, of the cryptocurrency transactions, Ghana, Kenya, and South Africa, and a bit of Egypt. So if Zambia is regulating it, I'm really, I really feel sorry for you guys. But I'm sure that with initiatives like this, we can really bring you guys on board. But there are things that we can't stop the internet, for example. There's nothing. I'm here with you in Kenya talking to you in Zambia. It's amazing. We are miles apart. Literally flying to Zambia is over $1,000 here in Africa. So you can't stop technology like this. So cryptocurrency is the next wave of technology, and and you shouldn't really be left behind.
Yeah, before you lose your thoughts, Yvonne, and then what challenges do you think entrepreneurs go through in an environment where there are regulations on cryptocurrency? Do you think there are any challenges that entrepreneurs go through?
Yes, most certainly. For example, the biggest one that I've seen is maybe I'll just start from home. From Kenya, for example, the government wanted to tax 3% of transaction. Like every transaction that we do in cryptocurrencies, they want to take 3%, like literally everything. So that's the Kenya Revenue Authority. And it was literally an industry killer, because that meant that a lot of external players couldn't come in because of the tax regulations. A lot of these entrepreneurs were discouraged to form because it didn't really make business sense. And we had a blockchain association who had to literally go debate with the government and tell them this can't work and you shouldn't force us to do this. So it was really bad. And also in Nigeria, I think they arrested um, the Binance lead, I think somewhere. And it led to, I remember there was a time last year, a lot of investors, a lot of players were avoiding Nigeria, and which was good for Kenya because everyone was, you avoid Nigeria, come to Kenya. It was good for Kenya, but it really sort of stifled our industry in Africa especially. So bad regulation really does not favor us. However, African governments are known to be copycats. So this year, Trump has made some changes for the US, and I'm positive African governments will probably copy the same because, as I said, you can't avoid it.
Yeah, talking about Trump, that's another topic, but thank you so much for bringing those examples. And for you who are entrepreneurs right on this call, I think you get to understand some of the challenges that you go through in places where you have, regulations. Okay, so I have a question. I mean, there is a question in the chat
About
from
WorldCoin.
Yusuf. Yeah, so
So I
he
saw a
wants to
question.
know what's the difference. Yeah.
Okay, I also saw a question from Elster about WorldCoin. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah, so he says tackle something on WorldCoin. Okay.
Okay. I'll start with that because the first one that I saw, it was quite interesting. I was a
Yeah.
huge fan of WorldCoin. I was a huge fan, shamelessly. I'll tell you why, because WorldCoin it was founded by Sam Altman. You know Sam Altman? Sam Altman is the founder of ChatGPT as well. Yeah. So the whole concept of WorldCoin and the orb scanning your eye was to give a proof of personhood. Proof of personhood meaning they knew about the AI revolution that's just about to come, when you talk about AI, people say that it's like in the Titanic, the iceberg has been hit and people are just dancing. They just think the boat has shaken, and people don't realize we're in a mess because AI is going to change so many things. So now Sam Altman had seen this before, and he wanted to find a way to prove someone is a human, because it's going to get to a point where we can't, like, there are videos that are being made right now and you can't tell, is this person human or not? So that's why he was going around scanning eyeballs and saying, because the fingerprint can be replicated apparently, but the eyeball cannot. So I thought it was quite interesting, but I think the question came in with the money, because in our industry, airdrops are such a common thing. You find when someone is launching something, they want more people to hold it. So WorldCoin had airdrops, and it shocked a lot of people. So in my opinion, the technology was phenomenal, although it caused a lot of controversy. I thought it was quite interesting. The second one is what's the difference between blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin? So I don't know if you joined late, but I think I'll even introduce it better. So in 2008, there's an anonymous person called Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know who he is. The name sounds Japanese, but it's a he, she, or they. And he launched, it was right after the financial crisis, the US financial crisis. I don't know if you know about it, but if you don't know about it, just Google it. It was a housing crisis. They did the whole thing where they had created a system that worked against them, where they were giving out, where the central bank, the Fed, they call it the Fed, had sort of messed them up. Not the Fed, even the banks, they were giving out loans that were not good. There was a housing crisis. It was a huge mess, mostly caused by centralization, having a central bank. So this Satoshi Nakamoto wrote a paper saying that he wants to create a decentralized money system that involved Bitcoin. That was what Bitcoin, that was where the Bitcoin came in. So Bitcoin, it's a cryptocurrency. It's the first cryptocurrency. that answers the first question. What is Bitcoin? Yeah. Then the second one, cryptocurrency. When Bitcoin was first formed, a number of people came up and said they want to do something similar. So we had Litecoin coming in. Litecoin is simply a fork of Bitcoin. A fork is like a copy. You can literally copy code. So we call it forking in the software engineering world. So you copy the code, so it copies that Litecoin. But then the other people who would find things like Ethereum asked the question, if we can decentralize the central bank and the money systems, because most money, like we have Central Bank of Kenya, Central Bank of Zambia, Central Bank of, if we can decentralize money, what else can we decentralize? Can we decentralize like technology? That's when Ethereum came in the picture and they created this thing called smart contracts, which allows you to build applications on the blockchain. Basically, blockchain is like the railway, and cryptocurrencies are what run on top. So Ethereum came up and we could finally build applications. So each blockchain comes in asking different questions. Like us as Internet Computer Protocol, we ask the question, because we talk about decentralization of applications, how are we decentralized if our data storage systems, our cloud, like AWS, any software developers in the room, you know what I mean by cloud, or AWS, Amazon Web Services, or Google Cloud, is centralized. If it's all controlled by Amazon, if it's all controlled by Google, how are we decentralized? So that's what we ask the question, and we build a whole blockchain after it. So blockchain is basically the railway. So you find that on top of it, you have other coins that come on top of it. Like in our blockchain, we have ICP, which is our native cryptocurrencies. We have other cryptocurrencies that we have. For example, we have Price Coin that's built by my friend here in Kenya. We have many cryptocurrencies that can be built on top of different blockchains. Let me stop there before I go on for too long.
Yeah. I was going to cut you. Sorry, Yvonne. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. Yes. Now, I see we have a lot of questions in the chat, which is very good. People really want to understand about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and other, innovative solutions to economic independence. But I have a very critical question. I think that is supposed to be asked here, and I think we'll see. We have some questions in the Q&A from Katano as well as Kevin. Let's ask these two questions, and then I have one critical question, and then we're going to end the webinar. Now, Katano wants to understand, when we talk about cryptocurrency, we forget about the level of poverty in Africa. Is it right to talk about cryptocurrency investment for Africa if so many Africans don't have enough bread to survive day by day? Well, he wants to understand, probably, I've got friends, some people say this is a Western world kind of thing, and it's being brought in Africa. How is this really going to help us? We want to understand, Yvonne, help us understand. Are you sure cryptocurrency is going to help Africa to reduce the levels of poverty? That's the question.
Okay. Let me just tell. I have not said don't invest in cryptocurrencies. Let me just tell you that. Don't yet invest right now. Don't. If you're joining in, you can buy if you want, but don't buy a lot with the level of poverty in Africa. Let me just do a small survey. I like interacting with my audience. How many of you are freelancers in the room? Anyone who does online work? How many of you do that? I'm sure the Nigerians do. You guys, I've seen some Nigerians here. You're freelancer. You know how payments are. I'm seeing you guys how payments are done in the freelance ecosystem. You know how discriminatory PayPal is. How do you guys receive money? You know, cryptocurrencies in Kenya, as we are the second adopters after Nigeria, came to Kenya through freelancers looking for a better way to receive payments. I don't believe Africans should start with investing in cryptocurrencies. We need to start earning cryptocurrencies. I met Africa Liberty guys in South Africa last year from what's the country above Rwanda? The poorest country in Africa. Burundi. Yes, Burundi, sorry. Burundi. And I met them there. Yeah, I met people from the Africa Liberty Forum from Burundi. They had been sponsored to come there. And they were very upset that they had been named the poorest country in Africa. And then I Googled what's the education level in Burundi. And I found there was like over 80% literacy rate. And I realized that, we are quite educated in Kenya. I can tell you we do a lot of online work. We are a digital gig society. We are very intelligent, and I can tell you when sitting in Kenya, when a foreigner comes, like we have South Sudanese who take refuge in Kenya, we have Rwandese who come to Kenya, and usually when they come to our classes, they beat us. So you guys are smarter than us because us we have a lot of corrupted food. And I do believe you guys are very intelligent. There are so many services that you can provide to the world. Right now, there's so much opportunity in the internet. Yeah, there's so much. This tool that is the internet, cryptocurrency is just an additional tool that has been built on top of what we already have in the internet. In the internet, you can learn, you can have a lot of information. You can communicate, you can send. Right now we are communicating through the internet. You can create content, you can contribute, you can do so much. So take advantage. Cryptocurrencies is just a means of receiving. It's a means to an end. It can help you provide services, it can help you build projects and help you elevate. And I'm a living testimony of that. I couldn't find a job. 7 years ago, I couldn't find a job in my country. I went deep looking, searching for means I could earn through cryptocurrencies. And before I made my first investment in crypto, I had earned cryptocurrencies. So when I sit here with you today, I'm requesting you, cryptocurrency is a means for you to earn more. With our level of education in Africa, with our entrepreneurship, with our drive, we can elevate our situations through this. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we have a last question, the Q&A. Okay, so given the diverse regulatory environments across African countries, how can we build a unified approach to crypto regulation that balances fostering innovation while ensuring consumer protection and financial stability? Very good question from Kevin, and probably you'd want to tackle this one.
Where did he read that? I can't help
in the Q&A. In the Q&A,
in the Q&A
you can check in the
Q&A.
Q&A.
Yes. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the
question.
chat. Okay, given the diverse regulatory environments, balances fostering innovation while ensuring consumer conduct. As I said, cryptocurrency innovation. Stop, like my opinion, how we do it in Kenya, in my industry. Unfortunately, I'll tell you, stop thinking about regulation. Let's sort regulation after. Innovate, build, work, and then let's talk regulation after. Regulation is always going to, if you think, in Kenya we say serikali's idea. I don't know if Swahili speakers, they say government help us, everything government help us. Until when you're waiting for regulation to get into the wave? Kevin, are you a Kenyan? So that I'm sending you virtual slaps. Let's stop thinking about the government first. You need
He's
to
a South
innovate.
African.
Oh, South African. Yeah. Yeah, South African. But South Africa, by the way, you guys, I think you're ahead of the rest of Africa. I think a lot of, in terms of regulation, a lot of the regulation that you guys have done, a lot of companies are rushing there from Nigeria and Kenya and other African countries to get to get incorporated there because the regulations there are very friendly for our industry. Yeah, so maybe I see where you're coming from as a South African. If you are Kenyan, I'd be like, what are you doing thinking about government? Yeah, so but generally, usually first innovation comes, then we regulate after. So first think innovation, and then let's discuss how we protect the consumers after we've elevated our situations in Africa. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Yvonne, for clarifying that one. Now, you see, we have a lot of questions in the chat, but time is really limiting us to answer all the questions. And having a lot of questions just shows how much interactive the session is. I have a question from my list. This is probably the last question. What then is the future of cryptocurrency in Africa, with supporting entrepreneurs? And I mean, yes, we've talked about how it can be so innovative, how people can be innovative, and also we've talked about the regulatory aspect of it. But then, what is the future of cryptocurrency in Africa? How do we see ourselves in the next 5 years, 20 years with cryptocurrency?
That's a good question. I do see we need to stop being so divided in Africa. We do need to have, I do believe we need a unifying currency. I really push for that because when I look at what we've been capable of doing so far with cryptocurrencies, I used to work for an exchange back a few years back, and I used to see a lot of trade happening between Kenya and Nigeria and Ghana, even South Africa, and we'd trade a lot. And it was that time the hot topic was called Africa something free trade after Africa free trade something
That's
about
the
that.
African continental area, yeah.
Yeah. So they were looking at how can Africans trade for free because it's like the borders really break us. The borders are meant, like as I said, traveling to Zambia right now will at least cost me $1,000, and traveling to Dubai, which is not even in my continent, will cost me $400 or even less. So, like when we talk of like free trade, I witnessed it with my own two eyes. Kenyans and Nigerians interacting, trading, making money from each other through Bitcoin. And then right now, I see Binance. Binance is currently the exchange with the biggest market share. They're doing the same. You find someone is what I was seeing on the platform was that a Nigerian would do a freelance job from in another country, and then they get paid in PayPal. But PayPal is illegal in Nigeria. It's been banned. It's very discriminatory. So what they do, they'd want to cash out through PayPal. They'd go to the platform and buy and sort of they'd want to sell Bitcoin to a Kenyan, and no, we want to receive money through a Kenyan PayPal because PayPal is available in Kenya. And so they sell to Kenyans Bitcoin at a very discounted rate in order for the Kenyan to receive the money in PayPal and send it to them in a way. It was quite an interesting interaction because PayPal is not available in Nigeria, but Bitcoin is. So they can send to Kenyans who are looking for Bitcoins to trade with other countries. It was quite an interesting dynamic. So I felt like that was the realest version of Africa free trade, where we were interacting with each other's money through cryptocurrencies, through freelance work, through a lot of things. So in the next 5 to 10 years, I'd like us as Africans to use cryptocurrencies as a united currency where we can trade with each other for free, send to money with each other on a peer-to-peer network for free. Because if you use like Binance, for example, if you send money through Binance, you send it for free to any part of the world. I'm speaking of this because it's something that I see people doing because you can send like I remember I can send to someone in Nigeria money literally in any amounts. Like you can literally send $1 million for free in any part of the world. So I feel like if we fix the money in Africa, we'll be fixing a lot of the problems that we face as a continent. because they put different currencies to divide us. That's one of the things they use. Other than the borders, they put up different like look at the francophone countries and how their currency is really working against them. If we can really try and push them, because now I'm seeing a really huge push to get the francophone countries to use cryptocurrency, because it will I feel like they're sort of arrested by their currency. If you're from francophone, please let me know if I'm saying the truth. If I'm lying, tell me I'm lying. You're not part of us. You're lying to you're lying to us. But if I'm saying the truth, please let me know. So I do believe that cryptocurrencies can really solve the issues of money that have been set by us by our previous colonizers.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yvonne. I think I jotted down some important points to do with putting different currencies between countries, which is also an obstruction, just like the borders that we have between countries. And yes, you put it right. We hope to see countries in Africa trading amongst themselves, even through cryptocurrency. And we really hope that is coming soon. I'm hoping that one day I'm going to trade with cryptocurrency in Zambia freely with someone in Kenya, Nigeria, and elsewhere. Otherwise, to our attendees, this was the African Liberty Monthly webinar, and today we were talking about cryptocurrency and how it could drive innovation, as well as how it could help entrepreneurs and startup ecosystem. Yvonne, do you have any parting words in like 2 seconds?
I think I've proved I can't speak for 2 seconds. Anyway, I'll just say I've seen someone asking, I'd like to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm a very busy woman, and unfortunately, I probably won't text much, but I'll try to. Someone has also asked how do they earn in cryptocurrency, whereas someone also in the comments section has talked about a good place to start is airdrops. Buying and selling is also a good way to earn cryptocurrencies because you buy low, sell high, and also looking for jobs in the freelance or marketplace that's specifying in cryptocurrencies. I'll just answer those three. Other than that, please follow me on Twitter, Kagondu_Yvonne, on LinkedIn, Yvonne Kagondu, and on CoinMarketCap, coinmarketcap.com at Yvonne. Or you can just Google me, you find me. If you Google me, you find me. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It was lovely interacting with each and every one of you from all over Africa. I feel very honored to be speaking to people from, I've seen in the comment section, people from all over. I'm really feeling blessed to be interacting with all of you. So have a lovely, I think it's night for most of us. And yeah, bye-bye.
All right, thank you so much, Yvonne. And to our attendees, bye. We hope to see you next month again for another interesting discussion on a different topic. Stay lit. Bye.